Light. That's better. I can see y'all. I know y'all can see him a little bit now.
There you go. Yep.
Miss Carey, I was looking at my TV the other day. It says CP3 Celebrity Basketball. What was that?
I don't know. He didn't invite me.
I'm telling you, I was trying to see if you were there.
I didn't get a ticket to that one.
I'm just trying to tell you, I was like, Miss Carey got to be there if it's a CP3 Celebrity Basketball turn. I'm sure she's there.
I'm closeted.
Travis on baby duty again.
It's a Tuesday thing.
It's a I get home from work thing.
There you go.
A couple weeks ago, you ain't even know how old she was, so don't be trying to tell us that.
Whatever. They're mean to you.
Ain't nobody mean to her. I mean to you.
They're mean to you, Daddy. They're mean to you, Daddy. You want to tell them the fun things you did the last 2 days?
Hell no.
Well, too bad. We're going to tell them anyway. We went to daycare.
For the first time?
Nice.
Yesterday
I bet
was
she didn't
the
like it,
day
did she?
one.
Wow.
She didn't like it, did she?
I'm not. Yesterday was day one of daycare.
And how'd it go? How'd it go, Travis?
They said she did great, so she did great.
Oh, they just want that money.
And that's exactly what I told Megan. I said, even if she did bad, they're going to say she did good.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Here come all the germs.
Yeah, they just want them coins.
I ain't mad. That's how they do.
Yep.
Oh, she did wonderful. She loves us. She cried the whole time.
Yep. Oh, she was just the greatest. We stuck her in a corner the whole damn day.
Uh-huh.
We was outside for the last 15 minutes. We heard her.
Yep.
Yep.
And the owner went and signed the papers to buy a new Mercedes.
Yep.
They're not that bad.
Coach, Miss Peavy's on.
Hey, Miss Peavy.
Both the Peavies are on.
There's two Peavy's on. Chris Butler.
And Denise.
Three
Denise
Peavies.
Ham is on.
I don't know why the Peavy's on, because we ain't talking about no damn Falcons today.
And Denise Ham.
Hey, Miss Ham.
Oh, man. He's away from the Imperial Palace, and this is what we get.
I know. This is what happens when you leave Black Mania. And people don't know that you're the Prince of Black Mania.
Ooh, it's looking ugly. Let me turn to the baseball game because this ain't nothing to see.
What's the score?
5-2.
A lot
5-2
to
Atlanta.
Atlanta's winning 5-2.
Correct.
Top of the 7th.
You couldn't tell by the tone in their voice?
Oh, dude, I don't care. They ain't gonna win no World Series.
Oh,
They're actually the betting favorite in Vegas right now.
Yeah, that's who normally gets their ass kicked. The bet.
Coach never got nothing good to say. That's why you're muted right now, sir.
Everybody goes with the betting.
Anyway, I'm gonna hit the play
keep lobbing it up.
So
Yes, please.
everyone,
Y'all talking. I about to say, Trap, we couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you for a minute.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, yo, let's get it poppin'.
Hey, don't make me play a Ben Simmons on y'all. You better be putting my name up on there.
Oh wow. You gonna be Ben Simmons for real?
It's been a minute now.
Wow.
We got to talk to Jay.
Miss Carey, it took over a year for my name to get on there.
No, sir.
And it took
We'll
7
get you
months
on
for
that,
mine.
Carey. Ain't no problem.
You're about to suspend my ass.
That
They
ain't
still
no
got
little
boo.
problem.
They still got Boo and Jay
Suspend
on the
me.
theme music. They left all 3 of us out.
Wow.
I
That's
was
how
on,
it is.
The rebellion has begun.
I was with the show for a year and a half before I got a T-shirt.
Oh, there's T-shirts.
Oh!
Oh,
Wow. Ask Travis how many times he wears that damn T-shirt.
I wear it almost every show.
The hell you do. Anyway, welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you from parts unknown tonight. I tell you that much. If y'all knew where I was right now, what I did to get here for this broadcast, you wouldn't believe it. Anyway, we see Miss Lovely Carey in the building. Miss Carey, what's going on in ATL?
not a whole lot, sir. Except watching these Braves win.
They ain't won yet. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Okay, that's true.
They're winning.
It's the 7th inning, right? Anything happen in baseball in 2 innings.
Winning.
Thank you.
What's going on in the Chocolate City?
Ain't nothing watching this beat up of a basketball game over here. Ooh, season's here.
Travis, what's going on with Geraldine and the daycare center?
Ashley is doing fantastic. I don't know about Geraldine, but Ashley's doing great. Daycare started this week, and they said that she's doing fantastic. So, yeah.
As they clean the throw up from the floor.
I hear you. Well, here's my thing. I'm out here having to do my GFL duty. So the Gwinnett Football League, our vice president of cheerleading, Holly Sammons, who's a very good, dear friend of mine, she lost her sister today. And so because of that, she was unable to come out here tonight and be the executive board member out here because we got to have at least one out here. So I, of course, agreed to take her duty. So I'm about to get off here and leave this in very, very capable hands with the 3 of you guys. But I did want to at least come on here and say hello to everybody and thank everybody for tuning in. And we got a good show lined up, got some very good topics. I can't wait to hear the show later on. I always go back and watch and listen to it tomorrow morning when I wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the first thing I do. And so like I said, I'll be very interested in hearing what you guys have to say, especially about what I didn't even know about till Irv brought it to my attention about the Washington State coach. That
Coaching
there
staff
is crazy. So I can't wait to hear more about that. And I know you guys do a great job with that. So anyway, I just want to say hello to everybody. I just saw Annette Hood, so she might not be on here because she was out here at the ballpark where I am because she yelled at me from the stands, and I saw her out here where I am. So anyway, I hope y'all have a great show. Like I said, y'all run it however you want to run it. I can't wait to hear what Miss Carey has to say. Miss Carey always be slipping in them little dings that you don't get till you watch it like the second time. Be like, wait a minute, I think she was calling me a pimp just now. Was she calling me a pimp? So you don't really catch it till you watch it like the second or third time. So,
don't forget to read the comments because everybody's saying put Carey's name on there. Carey needs a shirt.
Hey, I read the comments. I even add my own comments to it when I go back to it and look at it. And that's a lot of fun. So anyway, guys, y'all have a great show, and I'll see y'all next week.
All right. Stay warm.
All right.
Thank you, dear.
All right. Big fun.
Yeah.
As the parents go away, the kids shall play.
Yeah.
All right. So how y'all want to start this off?
NFL, go for it. Start it off.
All right. So my Super Bowl pick is starting to look pretty good. One of them.
Oh, wow.
Those Baltimore Ravens. So from the looks of it, Lamar Jackson is playing out of his mind. Can anything stop him right now?
Only him. I feel like he's the only person who can stop him. And he's like I say it every show. He's good for so many yards, so much production, but there's always like this fear of God that sits in you waiting for him to do that thing. So I think at this point only he can stop himself.
What you think, Travis? What you think?
Can anyone stop him? Probably not, other than himself. He's going to have 1 or 2 games that he's just going to throw the ball, to every person on the defense, right? I think we're all waiting for that shoe to drop once or twice this year. That's just what's going to happen, right? He's going to have an off game. But the Ravens, I think I'm a little worried about the Ravens, their running back situation. They have a lot of running backs. Le'Veon Bell, older, hasn't played a whole season in a while. Devontae Freeman, older, hasn't played a full season in a while. Latavius Murray, older. He's played a full season, but he's Latavius Murray. So I'm interested to see how their running back situation kind of holds up throughout the whole year, especially because, as we know, they're a running team. They're going to run the ball more and going to take more hits than if they were to play on probably any other team in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see how they've already got depth issues in running back, right? They had to go sign a lot of those guys anyway because they had so many injuries at the beginning. It'll be interesting to see how many of them can hold up to the end of the season and into the playoffs, because if 1 or 2 of those guys get injured, then it really is the Lamar Jackson and nobody else show, right, on offense. Defensively, I think they're going to be okay, right? Defensively, they're the Ravens. They always have a good defense. They're going to show up, but I'm worried about those running backs kind of holding up. Now, there's nothing that's saying that right now that's telling me that they can't do it. But again, older running backs in the NFL tend to get injured late in the season. I'm worried about that for them.
What was you about to say, Karen?
You forgot their 4th running back, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to answer you guys' question, nothing stopping Lamar Jackson during the season. For some reason, when we get to the playoffs, he's a completely different quarterback. But during the season, he's always on the money. So I'm not worried about him during the season. It's the playoffs that we need to really worry about. And just like Travis said, but to be honest, if they continue to use the running backs the way they did this past weekend, you might not see any injuries like that unless it's something really freak, because they were all used very sparingly.
They are.
They were all used to their strengths, and like you rarely see Le'Veon Bell in there when they're running run pass option.
Right.
Rarely. So it's going to get to a point, if Le'Veon Bell gets in the game, the defense is going to know what they're doing, and I'm waiting for that to happen. But I have a feeling it's probably going to be in the playoffs, but that's going to kill my prediction. So I'm not going to even put that in the ocean right now.
Right.
So, but it's going to be real interesting. I do kind of want to see how they're going to be towards the meat and potatoes part of the season when they got the Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh back to back again. Yeah. But
so this upcoming week, they play my Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm looking. I think that may be the game of the NFL next week. This upcoming week,
we're not going to do that.
I'm looking forward to that as a Bengals fan. I'm not saying we're going to win because I don't know, right? We may end up taking that L. I think it's at Baltimore, so I'm not saying we're going to win. But I think this is a good litmus test for the Bengals to see how good they are. And I think it's a little bit of a litmus test to see not how good are the Ravens, but kind of how do they match up against a real quality defense. Because I think the Bengals, I said it on the show week 1, the Bengals were going to have an improved defense this year, and they have a really good defense this year. So I think they're going to be good, but I'm looking forward to that game.
Absolutely, and that's going to be fun because I kind of want to see how Marlon Humphrey mans up on Jamar Chase with that speed on the outside. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Jamar Chase is the offensive rookie of the year so far in the NFL. Easily. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's easily. All right, moving forward. The Buffalo Bills. Did they get bullied by the Titans, or was it just a bad matchup? Travis, what you think?
I'm going to go with a bad matchup, along with Tennessee really needed to win this game, right? This is kind of a must-win to kind of not save their season, but still be in contention. At home, Monday night, crowd's going crazy, and Derrick Henry just had an unbelievable game because he's the best running back in the league. I'm going to go with that. I think Buffalo, if they played in the playoffs, I think I'd pick Buffalo. But the one thing we've talked about with Buffalo that I am worried about is their lack of running. You know, the running is basically Josh Allen, right? Zach Moss and Singletary don't really do much. And it really came apart when, 4th and 1. First, I think you got to kick the field goal. But I understand why you didn't. Because if it goes to overtime, you just got to think Derrick Henry's going to get some 80-yard run like he did earlier in the game. But you got to hand the ball off. You can't do a quarterback sneak at that point. And they don't have a running back that I don't think is consistently there to rely on, especially for if and when it gets to the playoffs for them.
Yeah. Scary, what you think?
Yeah, I think the same thing, a bad matchup. And I do think that the Bills were only that play from winning that game. And if not for bad footing, Josh Allen would have ran that right in. So, and I think that, the Bills were riding a high. And I think this is a good loss for them at a good time in the season. So I think that they'll bounce back from this and come back hard. They might have one more loss in their season. And I think they're sailing easy.
Yeah, especially in the East. I kind of figured that it was going to be a stumble game, but looking at past years when they played Tennessee, they kind of like held Derrick Henry to just being basic. So I was kind of worried because I have Derrick Henry in my fantasy until he burst off of that 75-yard touchdown run, and I was just like, I'm winning. But honestly, if I was Buffalo at that point in the game, I probably would have went for the field goal just because that would have took the air out of the crowd. Who knows what's going to happen on the coin flip? And even though they didn't really have a good running game, the pass game was pretty solid.
You're one Stephon Diggs broken tackle away from a touchdown.
Exactly. And to be honest, the one thing that I noticed in this game, and it was so lucky for the Titans, Ryan Tannehill is still not a starting quarterback in this league. He is getting paid all this money basically because of Derrick Henry.
You're still not sold on him.
I'm not sold on him. You have too much talent in A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. And I'm glad Coach is not here to mention anything about Julio Jones.
Julio.
But for A.J. Brown not to have a catch in the entire first half, for A.J. Brown, I think he had 3 catches in that entire game. You have the weapons.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him not to be throwing 300 yards every game, outside of the fact that Derrick Henry goes berserk. But
I honestly think that may be the problem. They may have too many weapons offensively because they're a running team, right? They're going to run the ball more than they're going to throw the ball with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Right. And then Ryan Tannehill is a good enough athlete to run the ball and do keeps and things like that when they're ganging up on Henry. So he's good enough to do that. But then you got 2 number 1 wide receivers on each, one on each side of the field, and there's not enough balls to go around. And that doesn't even include, the tight end and the 3 and the 4 of the wide receiving core, right? There's just not that. They honestly have too much talent for Ryan Tannehill, who again he's a decent quarterback, but he's not superb. But he fits that offense with the type of running quarterback running style that they do. But if let's say Tom Brady or Matt Ryan, who is a more of a pocket passer, or in that offense, Julio and A.J. Brown would just be eaten, I think, in that offense because you'd have to single cover each one of them, and you can't do that. But then Derrick Henry basically becomes useless. Mm-hmm. So in that offense, two star wide receivers just don't work.
I wonder what those 2-star receivers would have been with the same coach, with Arthur Smith. I think that the change in coach has changed the scheme a little bit and thrown them for a loop.
Yep. Yeah, I tend to agree too. And it's kind of hard to throw Brady in there because Chris Godwin is almost a ghost now.
Oh, I know.
Like,
yeah. I have him in one of my fantasy teams. I don't even want to start him because he doesn't even catch the ball.
right. And so it's always a good thing to have too much talent, but it's always a bad thing to have too much talent because someone's going to get X'd out no matter what you do, especially in football. So
ask Odell Beckham.
how about that? You know, and you can tell in that game, in that Cleveland game, they was forcing a lot of passes his way.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you don't want to have as a football team. But yeah, I agree with both of you guys on that one. Like it's they got bullied, but they still had a chance.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's still a long season. Like we're talking early. This is only game 6.
And again, we brought it up. Let's face it. Buffalo's only going to lose a few more games for the rest of the season because of the division that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the year, they're probably going to be, especially with the way Kansas City's looking like. I think the AFC West, they're kind of beat up on each other. I don't see anyone from the South doing much in terms of their win-loss record. You're looking at, and let's be honest, Baltimore. You're probably looking at Baltimore and the Buffalo Bills as, who's fighting it out for the number 1 seed in the East or in the AFC. And I'll take Buffalo, who has to play Miami and the Jets twice a year, before I take Baltimore, who has to play Pittsburgh and Cincinnati twice a year. Right? Like, that's just harder matchups. So I think Buffalo's probably going to end up being the number 1 seed. And they're going to have home field advantage. And that's a big thing because Buffalo's a tough place to play, especially when you're playing in January, right? Like, it's going to be snowing. So
exactly.
I in the grand scheme of things, I don't think this loss really does much to them.
And with that, Travis led on to our next one. And I'll go to Ms. Carey on this one. Who is really the beast of the AFC?
Hold on, the AFC. Let's see.
Did I cut out?
Yeah, I think Travis is right. It's got to be either.
We have to figure this out.
It's got to be either. Like, I'm not sold on the Chargers. I know they've been winning games, but I'm not sold on them. They're not winning impressively to me.
Right.
So Ravens for sure are impressive. The Bills are impressive. Of those 2 teams, I think I've been more impressed by Lamar Jackson as a player, but more impressed with the Bills as a team.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
Okay. So, obviously, I'm going to say Baltimore because that was my pick. But other than that, honestly, I think the Chargers are going to fade.
I do too.
The one thing that scares me is that second half that Kansas City had against my terrible team might spark up something for the rest of the season. I'm not ready to say that quite yet. I'm going to give them a couple weeks. But as of right now, as long as that Baltimore defense plays out of its mind like it has been, I'm putting Baltimore up there.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard for me to choose anybody else. Like, they've just been running through people, even though obviously they're supposed to have 2 more losses. But
right.
it ain't there. They still 5-1. So I have to go with that.
Yeah. I think it's Buffalo. I think they're the best of the East. Kind of like you said with Baltimore, they should have lost that Lions game at least, right? Like, if a kicker knows how to make a kick, they're going to lose that game. So, if Justin Tucker doesn't make some ridiculous kick, I apologize.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. If Justin Tucker doesn't make some ridiculous kick, they're going to lose that game. So, I'm going Buffalo. I'm not sold on the Chargers either. I think they're going to win that division because I'm definitely not sold on Denver.
Oh, no.
Oakland's going to fade. Or Vegas is going to fade. And
Kansas City.
Oh, and then Kansas City. I think they got some problems. I think they could lose another 2 or 3 games this year. Mahomes is looking terrible. He's just throwing passes every which way. Their defense isn't ready to play like they were the last few years. They may not even win that division. And let's face it, they're playing a number 1 seeded, schedule too, and the Chargers aren't. And I think that could be a big thing at the end of the year in who's got the more wins. I think the Chargers could win that division, and Kansas City is going to be that one team that you don't want to play in the wild card. Everyone's going to be going, please don't be us, but I think they'll make a wild card looking at their team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ashley agrees.
And funny you should say things about that schedule, because it goes to our next topic, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott looks outrageous right now. Will the Cowboys have the traditional season when they just fade away to the sunset and just become trash and not make the playoffs? Another 8-9, 9-8 type season. Or will that third place schedule boost them up to be the best in the NFC? What you think, Ms. Carey?
My feeling is that it would be the comeback story of the NFL if Dak Prescott came back and won this Super Bowl. Don't you think? I don't want it to happen. And I know Miss Nancy Peavy is all about them Cowboys. However, I feel like the NFL handed the Saints their win after Katrina. I feel like they handed it to them. And so I don't know, man. I'm a little bit nervous, but they look good.
Travis, help me out, Travis.
When we did our preview show, I was the only one on here that picked the Cowboys.
Oh!
So I've been on this team since week 1, and if you don't believe me, go back and watch when we did it, because I was on here saying I'm picking the Cowboys, and I don't want to say I was right, but they look really good. I think they're gonna roll through the division. I'm sorry, Irv, but your Washington football team, they don't have a quarterback, and their D-line, their defense isn't nearly as good as what we thought they were going to be. The Giants are terrible, and the Eagles, I like Jalen Hurts, but consistently he's not going to get it done for them. I think Dallas wins this division by 2, if not 3 games at this point now. I think they're rolling through the division now. And thinking about the NFC, they may be a top 2 seed in the NFC. I think they may be fighting the Bucks and maybe Green Bay. I think those are probably the top 3 teams in the NFC.
I don't like this topic.
You brought it up.
I had no choice. It was on the list. But let me speak my piece.
Hold on. There you go.
Thank you. All right. Everybody pay attention. Gather around. Take your seats. Come week 13, the Dallas Cowboys will only be 1 game up in the NFC East. You heard it here first. Come week 13. Listen, let me tell you guys something about the Dallas Cowboys. And we see this every year.
Yeah.
If the Dallas Cowboys has a schedule favorable to them, they always lose to the East and destroy everybody else. This bothers me every year. But the Dallas Cowboys will win the NFC East.
I think I had the Rams winning. I chose the Rams.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, let me tell you something.
But they look good.
If Daniel Jones doesn't get hurt, they lose to the Giants. You can look at me all you want. He gets hurt on that touchdown run. It's a tie game. We don't know what's going to happen. Daniel Jones doesn't get hurt. They lose to the Giants. I don't know what it is about the NFC East, but the Cowboys cannot just beat the teams they need to beat. They almost lost to the Patriots. Who have they played so far this year?
I understand, Irv, but it's not like any of the other teams in the East have played any tough games, and they all have losing records right now.
I don't believe you just said that. The fact that my team has played a Hall of Fame quarterback every week except for Jameis Winston.
Your team played the Falcons.
Matt Ryan's going to a Hall of Fame.
Hey.
It's still the Falcons.
It's okay. At one point, Matt Ryan was one of the highest quarterbacks rated in the league. The only one that we have not played was Jameis Winston. And then we got Aaron Rodgers next week. Like, it's a gauntlet we're going through right now. This is a joke.
Okay, and I understand that. And then you lose that game, and then how many games are you behind the Cowboys?
3. Listen, like I said, thank God the Cowboys guys a bye week this week, so Dak Prescott and all those guys that got bumps and bruises can heal up. But listen, Tyron Smith just got hurt.
It's true.
Leo Collins is still on that drug list. At any moment, he might go back.
No laughing. I'm not laughing.
Yes, you are. Still not sold on his defense. I think it's just the Trayvon Diggs show and everybody else.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. I'm just saying.
As long as if Dak Prescott stays healthy, they're winning the East.
Oh, absolutely.
That wide receiving core is ridiculous.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb is a problem. Amari Cooper, when he gets his mind right, is a problem. They're still missing. Oh my goodness, why am I? His name is drawing a blank. But they're still missing Michael Gallup, who's their number 2.
Cedric Wilson's really good as a number 3 wide receiver, and when Gallup comes back, he's going to be a 4.
So, like every year, Dallas has all the talent, but they still end up 8-8, 9-9, 9-8. Just on the outside.
For Dak a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of you that's cheering for Dak. You don't want to. I'm saying I feel the same way, but there's a little bit that's like, oh man, if he does this.
Yes,
it's pretty sweet.
Mr. Peavy, yes. Pollard and Zeke, I love them both.
Yes.
It bothers me because I want them to use Zeke more, even though I'm not a Dallas fan. But Pollard is just too explosive. You got to have him on the field. But when his contract comes up, he's out of there. I'm letting you guys know. They're not going to be able to afford him and Zeke. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, I hate to say this. With that third place schedule that Dallas has, if they do not become number 1 in the NFC East, I will come on this show and talk smack for the entire hour for every topic. I'm telling you this right now.
Deal.
I don't care what the topic is. I'm just going to say, yeah, but Dallas lost.
Deal. That's how confident I am that they can win the East.
If by week 13 they're 1 game out at the top, I'm talking smack. They have no business being this close to every other team in the NFC East. None.
No, you're right.
None. And when that gauntlet comes in the NFC East, when they got to play Philly twice, when they got to play Washington twice, they got the Giants one more time. That's going to be scary. And they got the Cardinals in there. You cannot be 1 game up. I'm just saying.
So real quick, I have the schedule pulled up. So they got a game against Minnesota.
Win.
Denver.
Oh, win.
Atlanta.
Win.
Kansas City.
Iffy.
Vegas.
Iffy. It's at Vegas?
It is at Dallas.
Oh, that's a win.
At New Orleans.
That's tough.
We'll say that's a coin flip.
Okay.
At Washington.
That's a coin flip.
Okay. At the Giants.
I'm saying any NFC East game is a coin flip.
Okay. Home against Washington.
Yeah, I'll say that's a win.
Oh yeah. Home against the Arizona Cardinals.
Hey, that's my other Super Bowl pick. I said Washington as a joke.
That game, and then at the Eagles.
Depends on what the coach does, man. If they do that crap they did with Washington last year, but looking at that, there's no reason for Dallas not to come out on top easily. They should only have 2 losses, if that.
So they already have 5 wins there. I think we all agreed they probably have at least 5 more from what we just read off. Like win, probably a coin flip. Even if you give them half the coin flip games, they got 5 more wins, which gives them 10. And I think 10 wins clearly wins that division with how bad the other teams are.
Yes, for sure.
So, yeah.
Whew. But like I said, don't be 1 game up. It's going to be a problem.
Especially, like you said, it's very backloaded in the East. So
100%.
Yeah. They're like Duke and Maryland.
Oh my God.
Duke was always good for a loss to Maryland.
Yep. And then Maryland went to the Big Ten, and they can't do squat.
Wait a minute. I don't know about that. Oh, you're talking about football?
I was talking about basketball. I
thought she was talking about basketball.
I was.
Listen, the men's team is all right in basketball. That'll be another week.
Yeah, I can't. You know, the AP poll came out, right?
Yeah, Maryland's on there.
Yeah, so it's Purdue. You see that? Yeah, 7. Yeah, it should be higher.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. Let's keep going with the NFL.
Moving on. We're going to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. Normally, Brady has issues when he goes to Miami, but not this time. They put a butt whooping up on Miami. So, with that being said, after watching the first 6 weeks, you think Tampa's going back to the Super Bowl, Ms. Carey?
I mean, I don't know. I hope not. But like, I'm never impressed by the team. I have been impressed by Brady at moments, but I like to be impressed by the entire team in order to think that they're going to go that far. And I just haven't been impressed with them. I mean, who did you think they would lose to Miami?
Oh, no.
Okay. And wasn't it did Tua play this time, right?
Yes, he did.
For the first time back. I mean, they were supposed to beat him.
Yeah.
That's just not impressive to me.
You're right. I agree. What you think, Travis?
Like you said, they were supposed to win. Actually, this past week they beat the Eagles. So, and it was at the Eagles Thursday night, but I'm not that big of a fan of Philadelphia. I actually think it looked bad on Tampa Bay that they let them come all the way back and almost lose that game. I think the Bucs win the division. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl. I think that was just a crazy year that happened last year with Brady. Now, Brady's unbelievable in the playoffs. I get that. And they're a veteran-laden team. And typically veteran-laden teams perform well in the playoffs. But I just got a feeling they're not going to have it this year. They're going to make the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. They're winning that division. But I don't see them making the playoffs or making the Super Bowl, excuse me. I don't know who they'll lose to, but they'll lose to someone before they make the Super Bowl.
So that was my mistake.
It's okay.
The Dolphins lost to the Jaguars over in London.
Yes.
That was on me.
That's okay.
They did beat up on Philly. I'm going off the notes here, people. I'm going off of the notes.
Okay.
I had to think about that for a second. When I read it and I looked down and I was like, wait a minute. The Dolphins lost over in London.
I just watched the Dolphins lose to the Jaguars. I know. It's okay.
Yeah. So that's my fault. I apologize. Because as I was reading it, I did realize that I was incorrect.
It's okay.
Okay.
We forgive you.
So I know this isn't on the list, but there's a couple of things on here that we already kind of sort of mentioned. So I'll kind of add this to this. With Jacksonville winning their first game.
Yeah.
Is Urban Meyer still safe?
I mean, You think they let him go, Travis?
I don't think they let him go. I think he chooses to leave.
Oh.
I think he's going to go, my head hurts. Oh, my body hurts. I'm going to go retire. And there's a real nice, comfortable job all the way in Los Angeles, California, that's sitting there waiting to be for a major head coach in Southern Cal. And I think that's got his name written all over.
I thought that was Eric Bieniemy's job to take.
I don't know if he's going to college.
I think he's waiting for the NFL.
Yeah, that's tough. If I was him, I would take it.
Yeah.
But
I'd leave Jacksonville to go to Southern Cal too.
Him and Bieniemy. I mean, I would if I was Bieniemy, I would leave the Southern Cal.
I would too, because Pac-12 stinks.
Exactly, and you got too much talent on the West Coast to not succeed.
USC is just waiting for the right coach to show up, and they're going to dominate. They should, at least. They should dominate the Pac-12 and the West Coast.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting. And with all this craziness coming out with Urban Meyer, we don't know what's about to happen. So I thought that would have been a good thing to talk about since they finally got a win after losing 20 straight to just pop that one up. So let's go back.
Real quick, congratulations to Jacksonville, though. They did win a game. I think most people didn't think they were even going to win a game this year. So congratulations to them. I think they still may win one more game this year. I think they're a two-win team. They still got to play Houston later this year. I think they take that game. Houston stinks. So the ship is heading in the right direction.
What?
If you say 2 wins is the right direction.
Wait, where's Coach? Coach.
Hey, I'm talking about compared to what it was last year. Okay, it's heading in the right direction.
That ship says Titanic on it.
1 win to 2 wins. We're headed the right way, fellas. Let's go.
That's right. With a young quarterback. There you go.
There you go. I love it. All right, so let's go back. Who do you guys think is going to win the NFC East? No, the NFC. Sorry, the entire conference.
I chose the Rams at the beginning of the season.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sticking with it.
I'm gonna stick with it. Why not?
Okay. Taking $25 off that $100 bet to put on another team.
On Green Bay.
Oh, thinking about jumping ship already, guys. What you think, Travis?
So initially, I did pick Green Bay.
Okay.
I'm not going to jump ship, but the Rams are looking real good right now. I think that may be the team, but I'm not going to jump ship on Green Bay because they're good too, and they got that bad man.
Yeah.
But I think it's down to the Rams and the Packers right now, right? Anything can happen in 12 weeks from now or whatever, but I think it's the Rams or Green Bay, with Tampa Bay kind of being just like a step below them. But I think Green Bay and the Rams are the top two.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you guys a quick little story. After I said Washington was going to the Super Bowl,
yep,
Jason gave me a nice little talking to after the show, and that's why I said that I was praising Arizona a little too hard before the season, because honestly, I did choose Baltimore. That was a real pick.
Yep.
But the Washington one was a homer pick, and Arizona was my initial. And I have been throwing Arizona out there all the time. So Arizona was my initial Super Bowl pick. And so far they haven't steered me wrong. And I kind of got scared that week that Kyler Murray was rubbing the shoulder a little bit. But I'm sticking with it. And AJ Green is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cincinnati.
We got Jamar Chase. Well, you guys AJ Green. It's okay. And I love AJ Green, right? I got a signed jersey of AJ Green hanging in my house. I love AJ Green, honestly. But, it was his time to go. We were trying to go young. I'm glad he's on a good team that he can possibly win a Super Bowl. Go for it.
He was your Julio Jones.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah. Same draft and everything.
We didn't need him. I'm not. I really like Arizona, and I've liked Arizona for years. Anyone that's watched the show for years has listened to me say Arizona, Arizona, Arizona. I like Arizona. There's something about them that I'm still not ready to put my finger on to say I'm 100% committed. I just have a bad feeling that they're going to get to the playoffs, and Kyler Murray's going to have a bad day, and they're going to lose. I just have that gut feeling that they're going to go 14-2, 13-3, whatever. I guess it's 17 game, 14-3 in the regular season this year. But there's something going to happen in the playoffs. I don't see it. I think they'll be that one team that is the number one seed, and they're going to lose.
And that one thing will be experience, because even though J.J. Watt has been nasty, he ain't got no playoff experience.
Yeah.
Same thing with A.J. Green. He goes to the playoffs every year, but first round out.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins goes to playoffs every year, first round out.
Absolutely.
I mean,
like, would it really shock you guys if Arizona plays Tampa Bay and you're
loses?
sitting there with Tom Brady and Brady comes into Arizona and wins? Like, I would probably put money on Tampa Bay to beat Arizona.
Yeah, I would too.
I think that's a horrible matchup for Arizona, actually.
I would too. Yeah, that's now that you put it that way, that's kind of ugly.
Mm.
All right, and the last NFL topic we got here. Someone got that vaccine this week. Cam Newton. Now, with all these quarterbacks going down, is he going to get a job somewhere? Somewhere, maybe, somehow? What you think? What you think, Ms. Carey?
Where? Like, is he going to go? At this point, where would you put him? Washington? Well, who else did we say?
And they keep coming out saying, we're not signing him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, he's been a free agent before, and nobody was calling on him.
So
I don't know that people are sold on him anymore.
The team that is been rumored the last 48 hours is Seattle.
That's the one I've heard.
Oh,
I don't see that. I don't see that because Russell Wilson's not out for the season. He's just going to be out for a few games. So Russell's coming back. So there's no point bringing in Cam.
I'm trying to think. Seattle was one I've heard. Honestly, depending on the concussion status, but it didn't really matter because he was practicing anyway. The Giants might be a situation. I don't know how Philly feels about Hurts. That might be another situation. But for me, I know where I would want him to go.
For this season, Irv?
For this season. But this is just me hating on that quarterback again. Could you imagine Cam Newton in that Tennessee offense? Oh, my word. I'm just throwing it out there in the air. I know it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But just finish out the season. It could be interesting. But honestly, this year, I forgot Mayfield hurt his arm this past week.
Yeah,
Cleveland. Depending on how they feel about Case Keenum,
they're trying to go all in this year, so I can see that.
Yeah, I mean it could be interesting. Now, honestly, I think it might be like mid-November or something like that. It has to take some like season-ending quarterback injury for him to get signed. So more than likely, it might be like around November if it happens.
You know who it should be though?
Oh, yeah, it's not.
I brought up last week that needs a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. And that's not going to happen either.
I know it's not, but I don't know if you got. I watched the Chicago game this week, and Justin Fields was terrible again. He literally does one. They hike the ball if it's a pass play. It's one read, and if he doesn't have it, he tucks it and runs.
But you were an Andy Dalton fan.
Progressions. It's bad. It is so terrible. There was one player this week. Allen Robinson was running down the middle of the field. There wasn't a guy within 15 yards of him. All he had to do was just throw it, and he would have had a 60-plus yard touchdown. And Fields didn't even look at him. And Allen Robinson is looking at him like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I'm your best player on offense. And he didn't even look at him. He was running down the middle of the field wide open because of busted coverage.
But are you an Andy Dalton fan? You have a jersey with Andy Dalton's signature on it, don't you?
No, I don't. My brother does, but I don't.
Yeah, he's mentioned that before. His brother has one.
See,
But it's interesting because I'm glad you brought up Allen Robinson because he had the same issue in Jacksonville, which was the reason why he wanted to leave Jacksonville. Blake Bortles was not giving him the ball or even overthrowing him, and it was on tape how he was disgusted. I'm ready to see some video and some tape for some practices in that last game of what Allen Robinson been saying.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting, man, because will they do a Josh Rosen with Justin Fields? Draft another quarterback next year?
No.
We don't know. We don't know. Anything can happen. If they get a nice little seat.
Happen, but I don't think so.
If they get a nice seating in the draft, we don't know.
yeah, I don't think so. He's got the rest of the season to develop. It's a wasted season for the rest of the players because they have a decent team, but he's going to develop the rest of the season and be ready for what's coming next season.
Yeah.
If they had a good quarterback, I still maintain they'd make the playoffs this year. They got everything else on that team is set.
Yes.
Matt Ryan.
If they had a good quarterback, they'd make the playoffs.
Matt Ryan in Chicago. Book it.
They'd make the playoffs if Matt Ryan was the quarterback.
Book it. Sorry, Atlanta fans. All right. We got 5 minutes left. Let's run into college football.
Oh, crap.
Let's run into college football real quick. So before the season started, we all said we was going to pick a team who was going to lose first out of the top 5. Did we expect every team at this point?
Nope.
With Iowa going down this week, was anybody surprised?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about them.
I'll say I was surprised they lost this week. I love my dad went to Purdue University, so I've been a lifelong Purdue fan. Go Boilers.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised Purdue beat Iowa. I really was.
It surprised me big time, especially how they played Penn State. So at this point, anything could happen.
Yeah.
So Georgia fans, being top ranked might not be good for you at the moment. Cincinnati fans, being top 5 might not be good for you at the moment. So it's gonna be very interesting. Oh, we got Mr. Peavy. Don't look good for Atlanta.
Yeah, what's the score though?
3-run homer.
3-run home run.
Oh my gosh.
It's tied at 5. Ooh.
Nice. Okay.
All right, next. Going through it quick. Tennessee was fined $250,000 for trashing the field during the Ole Miss massacre. Now, me personally, I didn't hear about this until the notes, so I don't know what happened. Do either of you guys know what happened during that?
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it went into overtime or something, or a call that took them into overtime and they threw a fit about it?
No. So Ole Miss, Tennessee's playing Ole Miss at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Ole Miss's head coach is Lane Kiffin, the former head coach of Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is ranked in the top 15. Tennessee is unranked, but they're having a pretty good season. Back and forth all game. About 2 minutes left in the game. Tennessee's got 4th and about 25. They're down by, I think, like a touchdown. 8 points, a touchdown, something like that. So they got to go for it. Even though they had 3 timeouts, they still decide to go for it. They do a crossing pattern. They hit the wide receiver in the middle of the field. He runs. It's like 4th and 25. He gets tackled at 24 yards, after 24 yards. They call him down. On replay, it looks like he crosses the first down line, but because it was so far, there wasn't a ref in the middle of the field 25 yards down the field, and replay didn't have a camera angle that showed that he had made it or not. Like, you couldn't see. You couldn't tell.
Are you serious?
I don't think he made it. From the camera angle, it looked like he was short, but you're not 100%. The call on the field was that he was short, so they reviewed it. Call stands. Ole Miss gets the ball. Fans go crazy, and they start chucking anything, beer bottles, soda bottles, golf balls, mustard bottles that probably have alcohol in it, at Ole Miss players on the Ole Miss sidelines. They had to stop the game for 26 minutes to get kick the fans out of the stadium and rescue the players, pick up the trash, and then get back on the field and play like the last 2 minutes of the game. It was horrendous. It was awful. The commentators were calling for the game to just be forfeited, and they said they shouldn't even play this game. The cheerleaders ran off the field and ran into the tunnel. The band left the stadium while this was going on. The dance team was getting pelted, and they had to go into the locker room.
What?
They got fined $250,000. It was awful.
Yeah, but that doesn't hit the fans. I think they should have said no fans for the next 3 games.
I think that's exactly what they should have done. I think they should have said we're suspending fans for the rest of the season.
Yep.
That's exactly what I think they should have done.
Yeah, that's low. Like, why is this still not being talked about is the crazy thing. Like, this is just 3 days. I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, it's awful.
We should have talked about this first.
Yeah.
I saw when Lane Kiffin picked up a ball.
Somebody threw a golf ball at him.
I'm looking at the pictures.
It hit his arm. Imagine if it would have hit him in the head. A regular golf ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's absolutely terrible. This is horrendous. If you're a Tennessee fan, you shouldn't be anymore. This is awful. If South Carolina did this, I would literally say I'm embarrassed to be a South Carolina fan right now because this is how bad it was.
Mm.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like this. This rivals like Malice in the Palace.
That's insane.
This is
why?
awful.
Why is that not being? How? That's blowing my mind. How is that not being talked about?
I don't know.
Okay, quick. I'm gonna throw in this one that popped up this morning. So, have you guys heard about the Washington State football team?
Yes.
Yeah.
With the head coach and 4 of his assistants were fired on the spot for not having a COVID shot. Now, in the state of Washington, it is mandated that if you have a job, you must get the shot. Him as a coach and his 4 assistants that were invited to the Pac-12 meetings had to do it virtual because he didn't get the shot. Now, I think they only have 8 of their coaches remaining. The defensive coordinator will run the team from here on out. Is this the end of Washington State for the season? They were having a pretty solid year for a Pac-12 school. Will this be the end of them for the remainder of the season? And will this hurt recruiting?
Yes, and yes.
Simple answer.
Washington State, it's not like they're that good anyway, right? Like,
yeah, it's funny because as I was looking through, they were not having a horrible season. I mean, they're not ranked, but who is in Pac-12? I mean, but like for something like that, that's a big hit.
Yeah.
To just lose your coaching staff like that on a dime. Like they're above 500. They're 4-3 right now. So they weren't terrible, but you lose 3 games in college football, you're basically non-existent for the rest of the season. But compared to how it was before he got there, when they was only winning 2 games, 1 game, no games, this is really going to hurt Washington State. So when that came out, that was interesting.
Those kids will be in the transfer portal.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. And I'll tell you one kid that ain't going, that OU quarterback. Who's it? They talk about transfer portal because he got benched and he was a Heisman guy. Spencer Rattler.
Okay, so
real
quick, not a homer take over here. I think this is where he's going.
Oh, Rattler?
I think this. If he doesn't go to the NFL, I think he's coming here. I'll tell you why. Shane Beamer, our head coach, was his assistant offensive coordinator last year. So he's already got a relationship with him.
Yes, Miss Peavy, way overrated. And I said that before the season started. I didn't like not one of those quarterbacks on the Heisman list. Not one. And only one of them has been playing this year.
He got benched for who? I can't think of the player who came in. Was it a freshman?
I think it was a freshman.
Yeah. Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Williams, he looks sharp, though.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So You want to end the show?
Real quick, I'm trying to look up this one last topic.
What's up?
Do you hear about, or you may know about, there was an NBA player that had a fake COVID card that they found out about?
No.
Did you hear about this?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't hear
Is
about
his
that.
name Kyrie Irving?
No.
You're right.
No, sorry. It wasn't NBA. It was NHL player. NHL player
Oh my gosh!
has a fake COVID card. They found out about it, and he's suspended for 21 games.
Wow.
Yeah. Along with the fact that apparently his teammates have come out and said that they don't even want him on the team anymore because they lied to him. Or he lied to his team.
Orenthia Peavy said she got her one.
Oh, now it was a former NBA player that had a fake one. Lazar
Yeah.
Hayward. I remember him.
No, yeah.
That's funny.
Sharks player Evander Kane suspended
Yes.
21 games for a fake COVID vaccine card.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Wow.
That was it might have came out 2 days ago and they made it official yesterday.
Yeah, I heard about it yesterday.
Okay. Yes, I heard about it on Sunday.
Yeah.
But they didn't bring out a name.
Yeah.
Yes.
They dropped the name yesterday.
Yes.
Oh my
Why did you have to be black? God damn.
LA just went up by 1.
Oh!
Mookie Betts just pulled in a run.
Oh, my word. Oh, it doesn't look good.
Bottom of the 8th.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, Atlanta got 2 more innings. No, they got one more.
one.
You said bottom. Oh,
But-
look at it right here. I switched it over. Ooh.
I thought it was a
only need
federal
to win
offense, too.
one
They're
out of
still
the 3
talking about the
games here. They only need to win 1 out of the 3 games in LA. That's all they
Yeah,
need to worry about. So
Yeah.
I
it
understand, but
legitimately was a must-win game for the Dodgers. They only need to win 1 out of the 3. So I don't like the fact that they were up 5-2 going into the 8th, and they're going to lose. They may lose this game, but
yeah.
they only need to win 1 out of these 3 games. So we'll see what happens.
Ooh. Okay, that's crazy.
I don't know if that is a federal offense, Miss Peavy. I don't know. That may
Yeah, I don't know.
I did think it. I thought it was a federal offense, just like an immunization. If you do that with your immunization records, it's a federal offense to get your kids in school. Not that I did it.
That's interesting though. I think it would be, since it's kind of sort of, is it government type situation?
Yeah, it's a government mandate.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's state, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I know each state has different rules,
Right.
and I had to learn that one. So yeah. All right, you guys ready to shut it down?
Yep.
Let's do it.
So first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining in, Mr. and Mrs. Peavy. Who else came in? Who else came through? Those were the Mr. Butler. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah. Miss Ham.
So and Coach Miss Ham and Coach from joining in from the car of Black Mania.
Yeah.
Also, I have some different news as well, but I think I might bring that up next week. It's about
You got some
myself.
what?
Some news. It's about myself. I might bring that up next week.
All right, we're ready for it.
All right. So I appreciate everybody from joining in. Thank you. We'll see you next Tuesday, 8:00 as always. See you later, guys.
All right, stay warm.
Good night. Straight from the hip.